The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondell.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stage Door Show. Tonight, my guest is somebody who's been on the show before, rising country star Will Wesley. This is his second time on the show, but some exciting projects going on right now, and also a tour and some other things. So welcome to the show, Will.
Hey, man. I hope y'all been doing well.
Absolutely. We sure have. And you as well. And I know you've been doing well with this tour and some music that you've been collaborating with Swiss artist Florian Fox. And I know you're on your way to a show with him right now and down there in Texas. So first of all, tell us about that show tonight that you're getting ready to perform in.
Man, it's going to be a wonderful show. We're over at the Green Hall. We're right outside of San Antonio, Texas. And we've got a sold-out show, man. It's the place where legends have played, everybody from Willie Nelson to George Strait. And it's a packed house tonight, and we cannot wait to perform for all of our friends here in Texas.
Well, I know Green Hall is an iconic venue, and I know that one of your singles, "Time's Catching Up to Me." Talk about that. First of all, I know that Florian is a Swiss country artist, and I would like to know from him, but maybe you can tell me from knowing him so well. But country, I didn't know this, but country music is quite big in Switzerland, and I know being from that country and coming here and performing now here, I mean that's he's bringing a big, basically a fan base. To the country, to the United States. And talk about your collaboration with Florian and how did that start?
Collaborating with Florian has been a very, very fun process. We started in 2020 working together, doing tours of Europe and America together. And then from there, I've written some singles that, starting with Wasted Again, a classic country number. And it did so well in Europe and America that we decided to collaborate again on our newest single, "Time's Catching Up to Me." And it's just a great honor to work with Florian. He's a prolific performer. He's a very professional, talented, great artist. And it just seems like it's growing every year. Every year that we do the tours, we just got back from 7 sold-out shows in Switzerland. And we concluded that with the prestigious Trucker Fest, which, man, we played for thousands of people out there singing the lyrics to the new single. It was an electrifying and magical night. And it looks like now that he's here in America, we're going to continue the momentum with a sold-out show tonight at Green Hall. So it seems to be growing by the year.
And when you're out there in Europe, Will, touring with him, did you find yourself, being, from Louisiana, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a Louisiana boy, correct?
Yes. Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, that's right. And, and traveling over there to Europe and touring, a lot of people don't know this, but, Switzerland, over 60% of the people speak German, but they also speak English, which most people learn as a young child over there. So they're pretty fluent in both languages. So I'd imagine that, the music, that when you're touring over there, they understand all the words, they understand the vibe. And, is that something that surprised you going to Europe and having so many country fans, I guess?
It really did. The first time I went to Europe on a country tour, it really surprised me, first of all, how fluent they are in country music and how well they know country music, but also the language barrier. They know the songs in the English language. They're singing it back to you. And that's what's really, man, it's a magical feeling, and it really just shows that music can cross boundaries. It's a very special thing. And I would have never guessed how big country music, authentic country music is in Europe, but it's absolutely huge.
In Texas, listen, that's Texas in itself, anywhere in that region, but Texas is a huge country music state, and the fact that you're playing at an iconic venue tonight, and and just going on this tour, that's got to be gratifying to say the least for you, because I want to bring this up to my listeners, because this is something I found out today, but back in, I believe it was around COVID time, you were promoting a show that you were playing, but you actually personally delivered tickets to that tour, to that show, to people's homes as far away as Arkansas and Florida. I mean, that's dedication. I mean, this show is dedicated to indie artists, and we celebrate that. But that's going above and beyond. So talk about that, and what was kind of response did you get when you you show up at people's homes to give them tickets?
Everybody knows how trying of a time COVID was, and how the world had shut down. And of course, we used the proper precautions, but there were just so many people, man, that was just down and out. So many people that they had lost a lot of hope. And when we put this social distancing show on, a lot of people found hope in it. And I really wanted to get with the people on an intimate level and let them know, that it's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. And that's what really was the drive behind delivering these tickets to people. I guess I could have mailed them. I guess I could have done it a lot of different ways, but I just wanted to show people that there was still a humanity to music and to the show, because it was just such a time of isolation and shut down and all these things. I just wanted to show people that there's still good in humanity, and that was really my drive behind doing that. And I noticed that a lot of the fans really, really took to that, and that was a special thing amongst us both.
Absolutely, man. That was amazing. And, just, I mean, I've never seen that or heard of that before. So, just amazing piece on your part to do that. And, like that personal touch. And, speaking of the COVID and how, we're back to normal again. We're back to, performing for the last couple of years. And so, I mean, that's just got to be, as a performer, I've never been on stage in front of thousands of people like you, but that's got to be like the first time that happened since COVID. I mean, that had to have been a spiritual experience for you.
It really was, man. It really was. And actually, at that point in time, to get out and play for everyone, and to really just get the opportunity to play, it made me stop taking live performance for granted, because we didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So to get out there and play for everyone, and to do that was really, really a special thing. And it reminded me of how much I love music and love people. And it reminded me of how special it was to me to actually be able to come out and play for people. And, and I was glad to see a lot of people enjoy themselves and got a lot of hope from that.
What is your thought on country music right now? Because, I mean, it's really becoming mainstream, more than it ever has. I mean, if you think about some of the, even pop stars that are crossing over, and, some of the, but the good thing, I guess, what it's doing is it's opening people's eyes to country music more than it has. And, I think as long as it keeps its authenticity, it's fine. But, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think things have changed a little bit in the past few years, where some like rap artists and pop artists are, singing country songs, and they're charting towards the top of the chart. Is that a negative thing, or is that a positive thing to you?
It goes both ways, man, because it's wonderful to see country music thriving more than it ever has, and in that sense, I say it's a wonderful thing. But it's also important not to lose touch with the actual authenticity
Right.
of country music, and not to forget what made country music great from the start. Just like in my song Honky Tonk USA, it's about preserving the traditional values of country. I mean, it's great that it's getting out to so many people, but if it's not getting out to people in a way that they understand what the foundation is, the message is lost. So
Right.
I'm a believer in country music, and I would like to see it continue to thrive the way it is, but also to bring the storytelling and the heart and the three chords and the truth aspects back to country music.
Yeah. I mean, you played big venues and small venues, but one of the things that I was going to ask you, I mean, 'cause I know sometimes when people play smaller venues, let's say like a bar, country bar, as opposed to like a big arena, but sometimes those intimate crowds, I mean, could be, just as great as playing in front of an arena, I would imagine. So what are your thoughts on playing the different venues? And do you have like a preference, I guess, on what kind of venues you play?
We do a little bit of it all, just like on this Best of the West tour. We had some big, big shows in Europe. We also had some very stripped down shows. And here in America, we have a sold out show at Green Hall tonight. But our next show is at a littler venue in Walker, Louisiana. It's at the Holy Ground Coffee House, but it's an event venue.
Right.
And we're sold out there too, but it's a lot more of an intimate performance where the artist can sit down and really play for a more intimate audience. Because I agree with you that the intimacy of a small crowd is very special as well. So we're balancing it out and doing a little bit of everything here.
Talk about what our fans and our listeners can expect, and where you're going to be traveling to and what kind of shows you're going to be playing upcoming here, so we can get excited about that.
On this tour, we're actually on the last leg of our touring together for this year. We're going to do a good old-fashioned honky-tonk to close out the tour at the Ditch Bar in Springfield, Louisiana. And we got a lot of press lined up. We're going to be doing things like that. But after that, our touring will end, and then we're going to be looking into the touring of next year. And it's looking like next year is going to be bigger than this year. So
that's great.
We're definitely in the planning stages of some bigger tours next year, and also we got the Josie Awards October 26th and 27th. I'm proud to say I'm nominated in 4 categories there. So we're going to be making our way to Nashville as well.
Well, congratulations on that. And a nomination is like a win. So anybody out there listening, it's, first of all, just playing your music and playing what you like and enjoying what you do. That's a win in itself. But, congratulations on those nominations and best of luck on that.
Oh, well, thank you, my friend. I do appreciate that very much.
And so what about recording? Do you have any plans for yourself to do some recording coming up?
Yeah, we've been heavy in me and my producer Phil Chandler have been in the studio heavy recording all year long, and it's going to continue. After Honky Tonk USA was released, we got our new single coming out this month. Time's Catching Up to Me with Florian, but also we're about to be jumping into my next single, 12 O'Clock in Texas. So it's going to be a very crowded year of recording, touring, and bringing it on the next year too. So it's looking like it's going to be a busy time, but a rewarding time.
You've been a lot of places and now Europe as well. And I mean, do you have a venue that you've visited that you just, think about back and think, wow, that was a cool night? Do you ever think, do you have like a favorite venue, I guess?
In Europe, there's so many. There's so many in Europe. Of course, I said the Trucker Fest was a magical night, but
yeah.
We played in a place called Neffville that was really, really special. It was like this Wild West looking town. So everywhere you looked, it was like the Wild, Wild West.
Like an old ghost town.
Yeah, I really felt like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood was going to walk around the corner, man.
That's cool.
But it was a very, very special night. And also, Falls Factory. It's called, our friend Freddie Falls runs a place called Falls Factory, and it's just a very, very special place where the audience really gets into the music. There are just so many great places on the European tour, and I'm hoping that tonight in the Green Hall, it's going to be something of the same.
Yeah. Well, I know you're headed there now, and before we leave, why don't you tell all the listeners again how they can find you on social media?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's at willwesleymusic.com, and you can find my singles anywhere you stream music. It doesn't matter. Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your music, I'm there. And also my music videos are all over YouTube. You can find me pretty much all over the internet. You cannot miss me.
Absolutely. Just Google Will Wesley and you'll find a lot of great stuff, and love your music videos. And again, just great having you on the show for a second time. And please give our best to Florian Fox tonight, and best of luck in that show. Sold out crowd. So I can't wait to see, hopefully you'll post pictures and maybe some videos from the show tonight. So can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah. I've got my, my wife and content manager here. She's going to be posting the videos, getting them over to the social media team. So it's all going to be, it's going to be definitely promoted and put out there for everyone to see.
Absolutely. And thank you again, Will, for being on the show, tonight again for the second time, and, best of luck again on the rest of your tour and tonight. And, can't wait to have you back again sometime. So thank you for being on the Stage Door Show on iHeartRadio. Thank you.
Well, man, I really want to thank you for having me on the show, and I want to thank all the listeners for tuning in, and hopefully we can chat again real soon.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good one, my friend.
You too, my friend.